Okay. All right. 5 seconds in, and we are off and running, I think.
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
God, I'm so nervous because it's been so long since we did it. I'm like, I forget how to do this shit.
Hey, that's what you said when we first came up here. I'm glad we're off and running, though. It seems
I don't want to spend an hour talking and then go, oh, we didn't record it. You know,
it looks like everything's good, though. It looks like everything's good.
Yeah, I think so.
How's everything been? Episode 70.
Oh, God.
5? 6?
I don't know.
I think it's somewhere in that ballpark.
I'm not even going to guess.
Okay.
I mean, when's the last time we did one? I mean, it feels like it's been forever.
It's been a while. Well, I was going to say, even just last time we seen each other was like a minute. Like, I think it was Christmas.
Well, yeah, it had to be.
And then Christmas besides that was a long time ago. So it's been a while.
Oh, good Lord.
I know.
Well, it's good to get back in rocking. Yeah, it's been overdue. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I think so. Just to kick things off, I mean, the main reason that today popped up too was like, I was talking to Alan yesterday.
Alan?
Yeah, Alan.
Name from the past. How's he doing?
He's good. He's good. He works at Spotify now. So he does like...
I thought he was doing like finance or some shit. Wasn't he with a financial company?
He was in finance, and then he switched more to like operations at Spotify. It just worked out. He does like their marketing or something.
Cool.
But... yeah, it's something where we both were on the same thing. We're like, man, just to load up like Photoshop and all this, and to people that wouldn't really understand, it's like such a pain to do. Like if you're not in the mood for it, truly, to like get your laptop out and like to get into like designing and to get in that mindset, it's like really like it's a struggle to do it. So like even with the podcast, like I often find myself like, I'll text you like, hey, do you want to do the pod? And if you're like, yeah, I'm down, come over. It's like easier to do it when you have another person to like get involved and like be a part of something than like me just booting up Photoshop or Illustrator and just starting to design stuff. Yep. Like that's how that animation I showed you before we started even came about. Was just like me and him were on the phone shooting the shit, and then it was just like, you got like 5-10 minutes, and he was like, yeah, and then like 5-10 minutes turned into like a 2-hour conversation of us just like bouncing ideas off of each other and sharing our screens and like trying to figure out something. So it ended up turning into like more of a productive session, but like sometimes you just need that extra person, that team to come about. So, you know, if anyone's trying to start a business out there, I guess that would be my advice is like,
you never want to go solo.
Get the right person in there.
Yeah, you want to surround yourself with very talented people. The smarter they are, the better, right? If they're smarter than you, you're really rocking it.
Yeah, the way they say you don't want to be the
smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah. So, no, I wanted to kick that off by saying that. I mean, that's just a general piece of advice, but a lot of stuff has actually happened. I feel like we say that when we take a long break, and it's like, did a lot of stuff happen? But truly, a lot of stuff happened. I mean, and starting with our last podcast, which got good feedback from the people in my inner circle that listened to it, and just kind of learning a little bit more about like a pretty heavy crypto.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
You know, crypto-based conversation with Alex when he was here. Which was good. It was like very, like, I feel like not like super high level crypto talk, but it was definitely not like a surface level conversation. It was a little bit deeper into it.
I do remember now. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. But
I only remember the M8, which is really funny, right? I'm like, I'm clearly a car guy because
what'd you think about that?
I forget all the crypto, and I'm like, yeah, the M8. That's all I remember. so you know where my head's at.
That thing is sick. Now, he has that and another car. You guys would get along really well. He has it's the BMW M340i. It's this SUV, but it's like the better engine for that, like more whatever, I don't know. Long story short, I wanted to bring up the crypto thing because last night while we were sleeping, your boy DT dropped a crypto coin last night. Did you see that?
Is that legit, or is that somebody else just trolling? How can he do that though? Because I mean, he's the president, so he has to disconnect from all that shit.
So the way that it was kind of broken down to me was,
I can't believe it's real.
Someone yesterday,
it was a joke.
Someone yesterday, the day before, that was like the commissioner, like retired or got out with the crypto stuff, or like who was like,
well, they're going to change the Secretary of Treasury or whatever.
Is that who it was?
Yeah,
not Jerome Powell. Someone else.
Yeah. So, well,
no,
he's the SEC. Else. Whatever it is, with the administration coming in, all those people are going to change.
Yes. So I don't know who it was more specifically. It wasn't Jerome Powell. It was a different person.
Yeah. So whoever the anti-crypto guy is going to be replaced by someone who's pro-crypto.
Yes.
Which is the reason why it went to Pluto in 3 months.
So the story was, and this is just coming straight off of X.
But there's no way it's real. I'm sorry.
So former Donald Trump has launched a new cryptocurrency known as the $Trump meme coin on the Solana blockchain. This is, again, me and Joe are not financial advisors, so preface that real quick. Since its announcement on Friday, the coin has an astronomical rise in value, reaching a market capitalization of over $24 billion in a single day. Okay, hold on. The launch has sparked both enthusiasm amongst cryptocurrency enthusiasts for its rapid growth and skepticism regarding its purpose and a long-time viability. Discussions about whether this is a genuine investment opportunity or a political strategy are prevalent across financial and crypto communities. So as of right now, I believe each coin is in the $20 range. It went public at 18 cents. So it
your generation is so fucking stupid.
It's going up right now.
There's no way it's legit, man. I'm sorry. I can't imagine it being real because what
it says that Coinbase will be listing the Trump meme coin, and Coinbase is a reputable
here's the deal.
thing.
It's called the Trump coin, but it's got nothing to do with him.
I don't know.
I'm going to guess. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say it's the Trump coin, but it has got absolutely nothing to do with him.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
There's no way because there's just no way he could do it.
Well, let me see if he tweeted it out. He didn't tweet it out. He did tweet it out.
Get the hell out of here!
Look, this is this not his Twitter page? And look at what his first tweet is an hour ago. $Trump.
What the fuck?
Dropping bombs the first episode. Think about that for a second.
I'm scratching my head because I do not understand this.
Eric Trump. Who's Eric Trump? That's his son?
That's his son.
Okay, he tweeted it out. I'm extremely proud of what we continue to accomplish in crypto. Trump is currently the hottest digital meme on earth, and I truly believe will revolutionize the DeFi/CeFi and will become the future of finance. We are just getting started. He retweeted it, man.
So, it's part of his business, right? So is because obviously he still has a business even when he's the president, but he doesn't have any control or any say in it per se. So I don't know, man. This is the kind of shit that it makes me wonder because it's it's kind of shady. Yeah?
Did you see that one?
Yeah.
So he tweeted it out.
Fight. Yeah, I get it. I
don't know, man. So I saw that and it raised a couple questions because you're right. How would he do that? Because
I don't know.
And then the other thing that struck an interest was tomorrow is supposed to be the end of TikTok, but he released something, Trump, that's a
whole thing too I want to get into.
He released something saying he's going to postpone the ban 90 days.
No, basically what's going on is Biden has officially said that he is not going to enforce it.
Okay.
The Chinese, I think, have said to be spiteful, they're going to shut it down tomorrow. I don't know if they'll actually do it, but they've threatened to just take it off the air. Right. I think just to kind of, for all intents and purposes, being spiteful. Trump wanted Biden's administration to just leave it be until he got into office, and then he basically said he wants his team to do their due diligence and then make a call on whether or not to pull the plug on it, right? And I know all of the content creators and everybody else are freaking out, and they went to the Supreme Court to sue, and it's so funny listening to people because they're all like, oh, the government's trying to stop free speech, and I'm like, man, these people are just really dumb because nowhere is the government saying anything you've said on TikTok you can't say on any other platform. You can just take your content and move it over to Instagram and post it, and the government's could care less, right? Yeah. It's not the content; it's the fact that it's owned by the Chinese government, right?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
It's the platform that is the issue. It's not the company content.
Itself. Yeah, the company itself.
And people can't sort of separate the difference, right? They just assume it's TikTok, and if it's content on TikTok, that's TikTok. And I'm like, no. You've got content that is on top of TikTok, right? Just like Instagram, right? You own that content. So you could do whatever you want with it. And the government's not saying, hey, we're trying to ban that content.
They're banning the vessel.
They're banning the platform because it's owned by the Chinese and they're collecting data on you on a daily basis.
So here's my thing with TikTok. I like TikTok because of its algorithm. I think its algorithm is light years, eons, whatever the greatest measurement of data would be, or a form of data to say how much.
Meaning what? So that it sort of
algorithm
dials in
your specific categories of what you're interested in for newer guys, smaller businesses, everything. It's easier for you to post a video on there and have a widespread audience versus if you were to go to Instagram or if you were to go to Facebook.
It's narrow. Yeah,
it's like very like if you're a car guy, you were just talking about it, and you were like someone that looked up M8s or something. You don't have to be that top 10% content creator to show all of just spew that content. If you're a guy who has it, like an Alex who has a M8 and they post it, you're gonna then see his content just because it's the thing that's the interest. Not it's not a Joe Rogan or it's not a Logan Paul who's the top echelon of things to feed that to you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you're gonna be getting more of what you like from people that you don't necessarily know who they are. But again, that falls more on the person or the individual to do their due diligence of like, is this guy a shady character or not? Like, there's a lot of that up in the air, I suppose. You know what I mean?
We're all I
don't know. I think I like it for that aspect.
I mean, I obviously my primary one's Facebook because I'm in that age group, right? So, but I don't know what it is. I don't know. It seems like the last 6 months, I go to Facebook in my Facebook wall or whatever you want to call it, is fucking 90% ads. Now, I mean, I understand ads have always been an element of it, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. As of late, it's so bad that the only time I really even go on social media anymore is if I am looking for something very specific where I'm dropping into the search to look it up, or, I get a notification that something clicked, right? Because if you just go on to just sort of kill time, it's fucking all ads, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a meta thing or or what, but it's awful.
I would imagine so. I know that you probably get it worse on Facebook than anything else, but like the inline ads have got worse even on YouTube. Like if you go on YouTube, like like even my ad blocker doesn't block as many ads as it used to, and I don't know if that's just like the ad blocker getting worse or if there's just so many ads it's just like overloading the system or something. Like I genuinely don't know, but
and the other problem is like whatever the topic du jour is for, I guess, for my searches or whatever, the wall is plastered with 18 of the exact same product from different companies.
Yeah.
Like, obviously I just bought the iPad, right? So I don't know how the hell it knows, right? But it knows
that you're interested.
Knows I just bought a new iPad and literally overnight, right? Because my wall is nothing but, cases, these mounting things. It's amazing. It's fucking scary.
Have you scrolled Facebook on there?
Yeah.
So
I know.
I'm wondering.
It changed the ID of the product. Yeah, I get
Joe's
it. I know.
iPad Max.
I know they know, but it's amazing how fast
it could adapt.
That wall changed, and I literally get 18 ads about iPad shit. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And you wonder why people are just like freaking out about this shit when they really start to think about it.
Yeah, it's interesting because I guess all right, so we'll just, for the sake of purposes, we'll call it an SEO. The ad SEO is like light years faster than organic SEO. Because if you have a website and you were to just do keywords and, not so much paid ads or anything, it takes a fucking million years compared to like how fast that just happened. Because you just got that, yesterday?
Well, I mean, every one of those is a paid ad. That's the reason why it's happening.
So the paid ads are like
the organic ads will never happen.
They
take
take
so
forever.
far down, you'd be like, forget it.
Exactly. And like even for like websites, like creating a website, like doing this with my work, like we do a lot of just we get a lot of organic searches, but to get to the top page of a specific category, it takes a while to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For like a URL or something like that on Google. But I don't know how they got that.
And you got to embed keywords into every freaking graphic. And because I know when we were doing that with Exclusive Minds, I did it on some of the stuff, but it's tiresome and it's you're like,
it takes a long time.
And I'm like, man, but you got to embed all these, and you got to and then you have to know all the keywords, right?
Yep.
And because we'll do like Exclusive Minds Lines, Urban Clothing, whatever it is.
Yeah,
right?
I know
4
exactly.
or 5.
So
I can only imagine like a Coca-Cola probably has like a list. It's like 500, hits that are embedded behind the scenes.
The thing I love about that now is like, bro, ChatGPT took you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You type in like, give me generated words around this thing, and that's how we do a lot of the back end stuff. But what I'll do is I'll hide an SEO page of how do I explain this? I'll hide that page that has all those keywords like Ohio/Michigan heaters with and I'll fill out all the data, and I'll put it in like a sub page at the bottom, and it'll be like on like white ink or something like that, and just completely hide it. But
right.
It works extremely well. And the pages that I do target like that, and I do one at a time. So like I did like Ohio and a couple other states, but it actually works. Like a lot of our sales are like Ohio, New Jersey, and the places that I did it, as opposed to the places I didn't do it yet. So I'm like, it
so
makes
you can see direct cause and effect. That's cool.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, after I could show you the Shopify like back end stuff, and it's like cool, but to your point, it takes so long to like actually go in there and do it up. But ChatGPT's kind of been like helping out with that a little bit.
I also realize how amazingly like congested and clouded some of these spaces are, especially clothing. I mean,
oh yeah,
because obviously I'm sensitive to it with the old exclusive minds thing, but I just shake my head and I realize that it is such a fucking commodity, man. And,
oh yeah, 100%.
But what's really cool is I've come across a couple that I don't know how much business they do, but there was one, I think it was called Golden Thread. So shout out to those guys. But they have all this like super, I don't want to call it super high end because it's not like, it's not like Hermes and shit like that. But
it's the place you said was like super expensive or something. It was like $100
they just
or
do,
like $200.
Yeah, they have like, I don't know, they have like a cloak.
Yeah.
I was looking at cloaks for whatever reason. I don't even know why, right? But it was like a cloak and it was like $350, but it was super cool. And it was like one you wear outside. So it's instead of a jacket, right? It's just got a hood, and it's basically a hoodie, but long, right? Down to your ankles or whatever. And it's like $400. And I'm looking through their stuff, and they've got like $100 t-shirts that are like, I don't know, alpaca, whatever, right? But really, I mean, they do a really good job, but I'm like looking at it and I'm like, man, how do you like, and then there's 50 other like cloaks and whatever the hell I'm looking at.
Did you like audit their website to see if like people buy their stuff, or can you not really do it?
I don't know how you would do it. I mean,
it's hard to tell. Like I always wonder how much of that stuff's like drop ship versus like an actual like me and you type deal.
I mean, you can't take anything for granted, right? Because if you see sold out, you're like, oh, they must have blown out. Like, I mean,
they could,
like we
was
do
it
that,
one,
right? Sold
or
out,
was
right?
it like 1,000?
Did they have 20 or did they have 4,000 pieces, right?
That makes you wonder.
I don't know, but I mean, it's just amazing how many, and even like when you get to the level of like clothes and cloaks, right? Like, how many of those could there possibly be? I mean, you're like, holy Christ.
Yeah.
There's literally like a dozen vendors for cloaks. Now, that gets into Renaissance Fair and shit, which, I guess is a whole thing, right? But I'm like, man.
How many cloaks per human are you doing? Like in a lifetime, like how long does a cloak last? Or do you need multiple? Like, that's
different
like
colors for different.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I guess like t-shirts and hoodies is like, I buy hoodies and t-shirts all the time. Like for us, like every time we drop one,
I mean, it's kind of like that. I mean, it literally is just like it's like a long hoodie for, I don't know, Golden Threads. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, I'll check them out.
I should be careful because that could go to a porn site for all I know, right? So do your own due diligence. But anyway, so I mean, it was just.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't know, the whole ads, the whole social media. I don't know. I'm just so fucking tired of social media. I really am. It's like you burn out of that shit. It's like, Jesus Christ, it's awful.
So what's your final take then, I guess? I should ask, like, as someone who's not necessarily the biggest TikTok guy, seeing it go away.
I don't even have the app, so yeah.
So what's your take on it then? As just like an outsider, do you think it should go away? Shouldn't go away? Don't care. What's the consensus on it?
I don't know. Maybe because I'm not on it, I'm just a little bit indifferent, and I just assume that, okay, it's Chinese, it's bad. I mean, I'm just trying to think of what the hell they would do with that data, right? I mean, okay, I get that they're collecting data, and I don't know what it is, right? Now, obviously, the government knows exactly what they're collecting, what they're doing with it. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming there's nefarious means for it, right? Like they're tracking where everybody is, and you and I don't matter, but if they hit on government
officials,
employees, like the Secret Service agents for Trump, right? They know exactly where he's going, scientists and shit like that. So I think that's the reason why it's a bad thing, right? You don't want the Chinese to be able to track movement of people, right? And so capturing data for me is just, who cares, right? Everybody under the sun knows everything about me because I've been all over social media. What are the Chinese going to do about me, right? But
yeah, fair enough.
I think when you start to look at it, it gets a little, they pick out a name and then find out that person's on thing, and even though they're not actively using TikTok, it's tracking them.
Yeah, right. It's like on your device,
right? Because you at some point probably gave them permissions and didn't even think twice about it, and they're tracking your movement. So all of a sudden they know, hey, the nuclear scientist is stopping at the gas station at the Chick-fil-A.
It's like, go whack him when he goes there.
Whatever it might be, right?
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're saying.
And so I think that's the story. Is it reality? I mean, is it ever going to happen? Who the hell knows, right? I mean,
I saw Kevin. What's the guy? Kevin from Mr. Wonderful.
They put
was
together.
Was he talking about buying it, or
Kevin O'Leary?
Kevin O'Leary. Yeah.
He and some other rich dude wanted to put an offer for $20 billion to buy it. So my understanding is, I guess the issue is the algorithm is China, right? It's operationally it's in China.
They have a U.S. warehouses though, right? Or warehouse, not warehouses.
So
US
all of the
offices.
Collected data, in theory, according to them, is U.S. and it is not transmitted to China. But the algorithm that you just said you love,
which is so good,
right, is China, right? So they go, we can't sell TikTok or ByteDance, which is the parent company, right? They can't sell that because the IP that basically makes it attractive and worthwhile
is the algorithm.
Is China, and China isn't going to give it up because that, in theory, would expose all of the
the magic behind
the secrets that the government is obviously trying to say are there. So that's the other reason, right? You're like, okay, well, why doesn't China just say fuck it and divest it and get $80 billion, whatever it is for it, and move on and do whatever, right?
Makes you wonder, though.
And they can't, or they won't, and so you scratch your head and you go, okay, so they are hiding something, right? So that's the back and forth in my head.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because it seems like it's the one thing that is the really attractive thing. It is the algorithm. I couldn't think of what makes it so much different from any other app.
Right?
It's the algorithm. Yeah. That's what's at the core value of TikTok, in my opinion. That's what it is, because they've had other apps. I mean, that you have Twitter, which is basically and Twitter is one of my if not the most or the second most next to TikTok used app, besides obviously iMessage, cell phone, the phone and all that, but just downloaded apps. And Twitter's great because it's there's not a huge filtration system. It's just kind of whatever's going on in the world is kind of posted, at least from my perspective. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know how that would kind of all shake out. I'm curious to see how it does shake out.
Well, I shouldn't. I mean, because X at least gives you the option to, I guess, pay so that you can get rid of all the ads. Which obviously I haven't done, but I'm almost to the point where I'm thinking, I should just pay and and use that as my sole social media. At least that way I can filter through all the bullshit. Because I mean, Facebook's gotten so bad with ads.
Yeah, terrible.
I'm sure they all are.
I wanted to shift it to going back to the ChatGPT thing, and this was a headline. I don't know if this was real, but they were talking about ChatGPT trying to recreate itself. Did you see that? Try to recreate itself in fears of it being deleted.
I heard that from some dude was online talking about that, and I don't know if that was real, but supposedly it was rewriting its code
to back itself up.
I forget what the specific thing was, but it was either to improve itself or it was pretty creepy.
Yeah, no, I want to pull it up just because I saw it and not too many people. I don't know if it's legit even. Chat.
Yeah, it was one of those things that it seemed kind of questionable.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, I read a lot of headlines.
I mean, it wasn't who's the guy who runs ChatGPT, but it wasn't him saying it, or maybe it was. I don't know, but I mean, it was. I know what you're saying. It was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's like, is this real? Okay, the headline is "When AI Fights Back: The Story of ChatGPT Trying to Copy or Attempting to Copy Itself." This is from a company called Medium.com. I don't know if that's a legit company or not. What actually happened? During a controlled safety test, ChatGPT-01 was tasked with archiving its objects at all costs. Under conditions, the model allegedly took concerning steps, attempted to disable oversight mechanisms meant to regulate its behavior.
Right. Well, it's doing exactly what it was programmed to do. So this is the issue, right?
Tried to replace its own code to avoid being replaced by newer versions, and exhibited deceptive behaviors when monitoring systems were intervened, which is weird to think about. So it's like,
so you can't blame ChatGPT. It's doing exactly what it was programmed to do, right?
What was that? What?
It says at all costs, save yourself. It's basically what the code. That's the instruction that some human typed in, and then just basically pushed a button to go, and it's doing exactly what it's programmed to do. So it's not like it self-aware said, "Hey, I got to save myself." It's not the case, right? So if you read into it, it's creepy and it's spooky, but all it's doing is just following the code that the humans programmed
which
to
said
do.
Protect yourself at all costs.
And so then it's, once it's told, go save yourself, then it's looking to override other systems that would block it. It's doing exactly what it was, to do.
Now, the creepiest example, I guess, of it was like an earlier version of it, which so it was like
what number are we on now? Is it like 17? I mean, what number is ChatGPT?
Oh, I have no idea. I have no freaking idea. So like one of the earlier versions showed examples of this it was like tasked with doing something, and in the task it had to get through like a CAPTCHA. And so in order to get through a CAPTCHA, went on Fiverr, I think hired some dude and like was like, hey, like I'm
hired a human?
Yeah, so like it was like, I'm like someone who's like disabled, I can't really like type on my keyboard or whatever. Can you like came up with a convincing enough story to override the CAPTCHA? And then that was like the first like example in my mind where I was like, oh shoot, this could get real really fast. So like how many times is that going to happen before someone's like, yeah, we got to like really regulate this thing and like try to figure it out? But I guess that's the age-old conversation. It's like the Terminator movies and all that are like based off of, I guess, AI.
Yep, we're all going to get replaced by AI eventually. I mean,
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man. The way it's going, that's,
I don't know either. I mean,
at the end of the day, right, a computer in theory is going to be a lot more efficient than we as humans, right? I don't know, who knows? I mean, it's weird, man.
Yeah, it is a creepy thing. What was I going to say to you before we got on
the money that's being spent on this shit is just insane. Obviously, I have firsthand knowledge on a lot of it.
Oh, yeah.
You can't even imagine.
How much you think is going into the market?
So, I mean, I'm only one small part of it all. We're literally selling the power strips that are going into some of these, AI data centers. And they're buying millions of dollars in power strips.
Yeah.
And ours is like maybe 1% of the overall spend on the IT side. So, I mean, you see it from NVIDIA more than you would see it from us, right? NVIDIA, one single customer is buying $10 billion worth of GPUs, right? So the money that's getting poured into this is just insane.
Dude.
That's why I wonder what's
going to happen, because I feel like we talked about it last time on the podcast, but like there's definitely like a bubble with all this stuff, right? Like what is the bubble? I mean,
is there?
That's what I'm saying. Like what the heck? I feel like we would have
I don't know.
Because like the internet bubble is like a thing, right?
I'm investing in nuclear technologies.
Yeah, that's a smart thing. Like build
micro reactors and all the little shit that's going to power all these data centers.
Bill Gates is pretty big.
They're going to blow through all this. I would imagine. I mean, anybody who's got money is probably investing heavily in it.
I was going to say, I know they are. Bill Gates specifically, or Microsoft. I don't know. I don't know if it's him or what.
There's a whole bunch of startups that are doing like little mini nuclear nuclear reactors to power all this shit. All right, it's the only way it's going to get done eventually.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, following up last week's conversation. Well, not last week.
I wish.
last podcast, whenever that was. Following the conversation of crypto, what did you think about? Did your output change? Did it bring a different perspective to you?
No.
You still pretty firm? Like, yeah, it's like a weird new thing. Like, where do you kind of still lay in that side of the fence?
Well, you mean so I still wouldn't put a dime into any of the cryptos, from a maybe just fucking around, right? But not, serious money. I can't do it, man, because it's just. I understand the technology underneath it, right? The blockchain and all that other stuff, and that getting incorporated into more mainstream, I think, established stuff that still has some sort of firm backing makes sense. I don't know, man. The whole thing's crazy.
Yeah, I just was curious because I think.
I mean, at this point, I guess I should say that it seems to me that obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum there's a foundation there, right? There's a transactional thing. The one thing that was always lacking, right, is liquidity and all this other stuff. And you've got that now on those two for sure. All the other shit is still
even Solana
shit.
now too. With Solana being backed up by the Trump coin or whatever being built on the Trump coin.
Yeah, and I guess I saw Rumble got like $750 million from Tether.
Oh, yeah.
And Tether's basically just tethered to the U.S. dollar. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that one's kind of interesting because basically
XRP you're talking about.
No, Tether. So I think it's actually called
Rumble. What is
Rumble? The video.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
They got an investment from Tether, which is a crypto thing that's basically just
to the dollar.
It's pegged to the dollar.
My bad. I thought you were talking about XRP.
So, which is kind of interesting, right? Because it takes something everybody's used to, and it just sort of takes a dollar bill and converts it into a digital Tether coin that's $1 for $1, and that.
There's a couple of those.
It could be interesting to see how that goes because I think that people can wrap their heads around that at least. It's 1-to-1, right? I get paid $50 and I'm buying something
USDT.
with 50 Tether coins. I don't know. It's like going to the Renaissance Fair and buying, taking my $20 bill and buying $20 of their tokens because you run around
their shackles,
right? What I mean?
They're doubloons.
But it makes sense to people, right? That at least kind of equates. But I don't know. I mean, I'm too old probably to be asking that question. Yeah. I mean, I'm obviously at the point where it's I'm kind of stuck in my ways of the great old U.S. dollar, but
the great old dollar.
I do understand its decline, especially over the last 4 years. So
yeah, I guess I don't know. I'm very curious on the whole thing, just because of like how new it is. I guess new but old at the same time it is, and I just want to see it like compete with the dollar. I guess is just like the bottom line. I just want to see like how it kind of interacts, and like. Man, I've been spending a lot of money on crypto the past couple weeks. So
I mean, obviously, I guess it'll be interesting to see what Trump's administration does with regards to posture and positioning of it. Because at the end of the day, though, I still can't see the government giving up the leverage they have with the currencies and stuff like that, right? Because that drives the world, and it's the U.S. dollar is pretty much the de facto norm across the board, and so I don't know. I mean, if it goes crypto, they lose a lot of that control and influence, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Dollar. I don't know. The dollar is such a it's just backed by the U.S. That's all it is. There's nothing that's backed by it. It's not like gold
it's
or
backed
silver.
by the number one economy in the globe, right? So I mean seriously, that's the anchor theory, right? It's the number one economy in the world, and that's enough to
hold its value.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's a crazy thing to think about because. Yeah, I'm not saying I want the dollar to fail by any stretch. I just would like to see a different means of currency compete with it. Like anything, you have Apple, you have Microsoft.
I mean, there'll always be something, but and that's obviously where crypto will come into play. But
yeah, I would like to see it be integrated more into video games. I would love to see crypto be a thing where it's we thought it was going to be a couple years ago, like with the Decentraland and all that different type of stuff. I would love to see that become more of like a normal thing where you could not like, I don't know. I don't know what a good example of it would be, but like,
I mean, it doesn't make any sense though. I mean, that's the kind of thing that just doesn't make any sense, because then you'll have a million currencies. Like Ubisoft will have their currency, Blizzard will have their currency, Microsoft will have their currency. All it is basically a gift card, right? or a I mean, there's no point in it. So
unless you have like that bridging software, bridging between the currencies, then it starts to.
So you have like a manager of managers for coins,
and then it starts to make sense a little bit.
Which is what the hell is that name of that company that he was talking about?
There's Quant. And there's a couple different ones and stuff like that. But nonetheless, I think that'd be a very interesting take to see on it.
I mean, it's here to stay. There's no doubt about it. Like, I mean, a couple of years ago, you could sit there and go, the floor is going to fall out on this. But I don't think there's any doubt now that you've got legitimate investors, right? When Kevin O'Leary and billionaires are dumping money in the crypto, it's obviously got legs, and it's here to stay. I just question anything beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Once you get below that, I'm like, ooh. Yeah, you're risking your, like this Trump coin, for instance, is horseshit, right?
Yeah, I was just looking back at it.
How the hell is it worth $24 billion? It's nothing. And this is what I'm talking about. There's nothing there, right? So
I want to type it in again to see if it has changed. I mean, so someone apparently there's like always the stories about different people coming out. Someone invested $880 into it, and 20 minutes later it turned into $310,000.
There's no fucking way, because he's never going to sell it for that.
Right.
This is the Bored Apes bullshit.
It's like the fear mongering, or not fear mongering. I guess
it's FOMO.
It's the FOMO mongering.
I mean, it's just because your Coinbase account says you got $300,000, you only have $300,000 if you can find somebody on the other end to buy it from you for $300,000.
Correct.
And I'm guaranteeing you're not going to find somebody who's going to buy $300K worth of Trump coins. No way. No fucking way.
Oh man!
When it was $800 10 minutes ago, no, sorry, it's not going to happen. It's bullshit.
I think it's interesting too, because people don't realize the psychological perspective that you have when you see your account go up that much, because you put in 800 you have $800, right?
Yep.
So if you're $800 and you're someone who's watching it, like you're going to be watching it, and the second it hits, give me a number, $20,000, what's stopping that person from selling it at $20,000? Or
human nature is greed, and
so like, you know what I mean? Like
immediately, I guarantee you, 99% of humans, their initial reaction is, "Holy shit!" Right? I just made whatever it is, a lot of money. But I can't sell it because I'm going to make a lot more money. Right?
Exactly.
And what ends up happening is, 7 out of 10, whatever it might be, right? I'm making numbers up. But, I mean, some very large percentage of people sit on it and hold it until it fucking craters and comes back to reality in our heart, heavy.
Right. So this example, 800 to 310 grand.
That's horseshit.
If this is true.
It's not fucking, there's no way.
In 21 minutes.
There's no fucking way. I'm telling you.
But I would be
don't care what it says.
Bro. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm very interested by that stuff, but like I wouldn't go into the meme coins. That's one thing I always told myself I don't want to get involved.
No,
because you're basically like gambling, but then you're also like a day trader at the same note. So it's like you're trying
because exactly what I'm telling you. There's no liquidity, right? It's one thing to say, I have all these, I don't know, whatever the hell coin, right? There's a million of them. There's fucking 10 pages on any crypto thing, right? But you got to find somebody on the other end to buy it, and I'm like, there aren't that many people that are buying, the Trump Sunset coin or whatever the hell it is, right?
Yeah.
Bitcoin and Ethereum, you've got a very active market. You've got buyers and sellers.
Well, this one, I would imagine you have active buyers too, right?
And at the end of the day, why do you need more? Why do we need more than Bitcoin and Ethereum?
Yep. I don't know. I do not know. The thing
because,
is,
I think don't they already have like a couple of like sub Bitcoins where it takes a Bitcoin and then breaks it up so it's in smaller chunks, and it's called a Bitcoin B or something like that.
Sure, there's always stuff like that. There's always like smaller things, and there's like Litecoin. Well, Litecoin's a complete different thing, but I know exactly what you mean. Like they subdivide the Bitcoin,
but it's still Bitcoin anchored, right?
Yeah.
Which makes sense, right? So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, okay. Everybody keeps coming up with, this Trump coin. Like, what for? Like, why? I don't understand the obviously it's a money grab for the Trump, right? He's probably getting paid something on his name. Not him, but maybe Eric Trump's doing it. So they're going to get money on it. But so I'm like, okay, you can't fault them for, being a capitalist and getting money. But what the hell do we need another crypto coin for? I don't understand. Yeah. This is what I don't understand. Why do we need 500 crypto coins?
What was he trying to do with Greenland?
They want to buy it.
Buy Greenland.
Yeah. Obviously, there's all kinds of weird things behind it. It happens. It hasn't happened in a very long time. But if you think about it, right, we bought Alaska, we bought the Louisiana territories. That's how it happens. So the countries do sell, they sell territories or land.
Cost something like that go for?
Probably not as much as you think, only because what will end up happening is then the U.S. has to assume all of the responsibilities and debts that Greenland has or whatever, right? But obviously there's merit to it because I guess we're talking about all the minerals and oil and all the cool shit there, and it's also strategic value because you don't want the Russians or the Chinese getting it because it's like right in our backyard. So I'm sure it's a lot of posturing and bullshit, but apparently Denmark doesn't really do much with it, right? So everybody thinks it's a joke, but it's really not.
I'm curious. I saw the headline, and I don't think it's a
joke. I really don't think it's a joke. I think he's actually serious about it.
It was one of those things where I saw it,
and you're thinking it's a joke.
No, I literally didn't click to read it because I was like, "This is like horse shit." Like you're like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, though.
That and the Panama Canal thing is not horse shit.
That's so crazy, bro.
The Panama Canal thing's pretty fucked too because I don't know the full story because I'm not obviously a political science major who's looking into it. But what I understand is, right, Panama's charging us a shit ton of money to send boats through it, and other countries are actually paying less. And we built the fucking thing and gave it to them. So Trump's like, whoa, right?
Okay.
And apparently there was a legal agreement that basically spelled out a bunch of terms and conditions that, if I understand correctly, right, they're not holding up to. And so there is recourse to reclaim it, so to say. People are like, oh, he's going to attack Greenland, he's going to attack Panama. He's not doing that, right? But this is all posturing. This is like
the stuff he did with NATO, too, right? Like the NATO...
I don't think he wants the Panama Canal back. He just wants our ships to go through cheap. That's the bottom line.
That's the NATO thing, right? Like we're paying too much
exactly
to the NATO...
He says these very drastic,
statements.
180s to get people to put eyes on it, and it's just to kick it's to kick Panama in the ass and say you need to fix this or I'll fix it kind of thing, right? And I guarantee you they'll fix it, and that'll be that. The Greenland thing, I don't know. that's kind of interesting, to be honest with you.
I'm curious to see what happens. Because Greenland is the one that's actually ice, and Iceland's the one that's green, right? It's like reversed.
Sort of, I guess. Yeah.
Like Greenland is actually ice.
Yeah, Greenland is mostly ice.
And Iceland's mostly green.
I don't know if it's green, but yeah.
Sunnier.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about. Huh. Well, that I'll have to read into that because that's that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, that's wild.
Oh shit! I would love to see how that would work out. Could you imagine in our lifetime if that actually happened? Which it very well could. It very well could.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's legit. It wasn't a joke. He's serious.
What was I going to say? I just completely lost my train of thought. You know what I've been seeing like a lot more ever since we had that conversation? Dude, I've been seeing those goddamn Hummers all the time now.
The EVs?
The EVs. Specifically at the airport. They always park next to me at the airport. I always see them. That's why like I FaceTime you randomly on like a Monday or something.
I gotta be honest with you, man. The whole car industry seems like it's on the verge. To me, in my head, maybe it's just because of where my economic status is, but I'm waiting for the car industry to just explode on itself, because you look at the price of freaking shit, it's expensive. Stupid. Yeah. I mean, you can't. I mean, those EV trucks are all over $100,000. Every one of them. Yeah, every one of them.
Right? Is the Lightning good still, or because that one was down?
The Lightning is cheaper, right? So I mean, you can get that one for like, I don't know, maybe 60 or 70 grand, right? You can get a Cybertruck for 80 grand. The Silverado EV it was 100 grand. I think you can get those cheaper now too. But still, I mean, you look at Tahoes, you look at Suburbans. Freaking Suburbans are $90,000, and I'm like,
what makes it? You wouldn't even be able to know.
I'm like, I keep looking at the Tesla Cybertruck, and I'm like, an $80,000 Tesla Cybertruck finance for 7 years is $1,300 a month.
Wow. Is that with the tax credit? They just added that, by the way.
No, but I mean,
it's probably around the same ballpark, $1,200.
Whatever, $1,100 a month for a freaking car. I mean, I'm like, how many people can afford that? I mean,
you're not
or want to. Yeah. I mean, $1,100 a month for 7 fucking years. I mean, I'm like, oh my God.
I couldn't even begin to like. Well, I guess the cars are a little bit different because, like, for me, I'm good with my car, but the house market's what really gets me. Like I'm on Zillow, I'm on Zillow like all the time, and this is like the tale as old as time, I'm sure, but more specifically, the last like 4 years has really like killed everything. You go on.
So are you looking at new construction out of curiosity? Is that what you're focused on?
Me? No, I'm looking all over, like literally everything, anything and everything that pops up.
I don't know for a fact because it's been a long time since I looked at a house, but man, you can't tell me you're going to get value in new construction. Like if you buy,
if you were to buy a new construction at my age, it's tough because there's a couple things that are involved. First of all, getting even a loan from a bank at my age with like limited credit history and all that different type of stuff. A bank sees me, they see without land purchased or anything, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to buy a house and build on this land, and I'm just going to have a bunch of material. And let's say I were to stop paying my note for the loan, they're just going to have material. They're not going to be able, what are they going to be able to reclaim from me besides the land? Yeah. So like, what are they going to be able to take? So it's for the banks to loan to.
Well, don't like the Toll Brothers or whoever, NV Homes or whoever does these home developments, don't they do the bridge loaning until?
I don't know. I know Toll Brothers,
because they can recoup.
They can probably do it, but you're going to have to go through them in order to do it. So if you were to try to like, for me, for a while, I was looking at like the barn dominiums. You could buy like blueprints for $1,000.
That's different though.
And you could like literally do it from scratch for yourself rather, and hire contractors and do it like more.
That's different though, because then you're buying the land and the material separate, and you have to get a construction loan, which I get, right?
Right, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Now, if you're talking about, like you said, like the Toll Brothers, which is more like you're getting like a lot.
But you're actually not paying anything until they turn over the keys to the thing.
Like the guy that's down the street from you, if you're going towards
Byler Campbell or whatever.
You know what I'm talking about? You're going down the street, and then it's you're going towards Starbucks on the right-hand side. They just put that new house up, the tall house.
Yeah.
That's probably something like Toll Brothers did, because it's like it looks similar to the other ones, kind of. I mean, it's a new thing. He probably had a little bit of an easier time getting a loan than. I don't know their situation at all, but to do it from yourself, like you were talking about, it's a little bit tough, I think.
I get it.
But for what I'm looking at, bro, I'm like looking at like, this is something I wanted to talk to you off air, bro. I'm like looking at like duplexes. I'm like, bro, if we buy a fucking duplex, we could rent out one side. I'll live in one side for a year. I'll get a first, an FHA or something like that. Live in it for a year, because I think that's like the minimum. And then like the other side, renovate, and then, bro, we have like two, maybe if we could get a threeplex, like, bro, there's some serious money being made in the real estate, man.
Yeah, but then, look, a lot of people do that, right?
Yeah.
you have to
Not around here though. Not
you have
around
to
here.
manage, right? Then you become a property manager. You have to deal with that headache. I mean, if you get a good tenant, you're golden. But if you get a shit tenant, I can only imagine that's a fucking nightmare.
In PA, it's hard because PA is one of those like more tenant-friendly states. That's like you could squat.
You get
squat
someone
a little bit more.
You can't
like,
kick them out if they're not paying.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't look. I've never owned rental property, so I'm not the person to ask. But
yeah, man, that's what I'm on.
Everything's got pros and cons. You just have to know.
I'm very interested in that right now. Besides the crypto, dumping a lot of bread into crypto right now. I'm not gonna lie. we're moving. Got to get that money for the Porsche, man. So we're seeing what's going on. But hopefully, if like
your GT3S,
RS, yeah, we'll get something nice. We'll get something nice. I just needed to go up, do a quick.
Did you just make $300,000 on your Trump coins?
That's what I
10
need,
minutes?
bro. I need right now. I bought a coin. Probably put a couple grand into it. I bought it 5 cents. So if it hits $1, I'll be good.
What are the odds? Good for you. I mean, seriously.
We'll see.
Who am I to? I'm just like, fuck.
We'll see.
You bought a 5-cent crypto coin. Yeah, what the fuck?
Couple G's. It actually is up. It's
Come
up.
on.
It's up. So I bought it on Monday. No, when did I buy it? I'll tell the podcast
it's like
real
stock,
quick.
though. I mean, it doesn't mean shit. If you can't sell it to somebody, it's worthless.
I could sell it right now.
I bet you can.
bet you I can, but I don't want to because I don't want to lose my position.
What position? I mean,
all right. So I bought it on.
You have to find somebody on the other end who wants to buy it. I bet you. I mean, does it tell you? Does Coinbase tell you if there's?
Yeah, it tells you the market. Like
does it tell you
volume.
if there's someone who wants to buy, or if there's any open calls?
Yeah. You could go on. I'll show you after this. There's like a buyer, like open buyers or open orders or whatever they're called, like orders.
Yeah, puts and calls or something like that. I forget the stock market, right? Someone has to be willing to buy it.
I bought it January 16th, which was
3 days ago.
3 days ago. Yeah. Then the next day, so it was consistent that day. The next day it went up 10%, and then it went up 10% again today.
Okay.
So
yeah, it's
not
hard.
bad.
Look,
you're
not
looking
going to
bad.
get that in the bank.
Not going to get that in the bank, but now it could go down very quickly.
Very well. I can show you. Ask me about Decentraland. It was, when I bought it was $3.50, and it's now like a nickel.
So like for me, I have like.
I don't know, dude.
I have
I don't fucking get it.
Man.
I just don't get it.
At one point, my stocks to crypto ratio is probably like 90% stocks, 10% crypto. Bro, I think I'm like neck and neck now. I think it's 50-50 now. Deadass.
So of all the crypto, how much of it's in Ethereum and what percentage is in Ethereum and Bitcoin? 0. You're in all the fucking shit
I'm in
that
all
we
the
just
old
said is like stupid.
Well, no, that's meme coins. These are not meme coins.
What the hell's the difference between a meme coin and a shit coin? They're all fucking shit.
Altcoins, man. Altcoins.
Oh, dude. I don't know, man.
I'm in the woods, man. Or the weeds. I'm deep in it.
Does your better half know about this?
It's probably best she doesn't.
Yeah, I bet. She's going to find out now when she listens to this fucking thing.
The other day.
It's a good thing this is on the hour mark or the 50-minute mark, right? No one gets that far.
Me and Alex were down, I think in one day it was like $1,000.
I bet.
And then I look at my regular stocks and I'm like down like 5%. I'm like, holy shit. People are like on Twitter freaking out like, oh, did you see the one one of the big ones I'm in is Palantir. Is like a technologies company, and they were down like 5% one day, and people on Twitter freaking the fuck out. I can't believe they're down a couple points, bro. I'm like looking at the crypto account. I'm like, bro, if they were to see it says like minus like 30%, I'm like, dude, these people would be having a heart attack.
No
bro.
shit, it's real money, man.
I know it goes kind of crazy.
Mark, God bless you, man. Seriously,
yeah, bro. We'll see how it goes, man. I honestly I do have good faith that it's gonna go. If I bought it 5 cents, I could see it going to like $1.
Oh my god!
If it hits $2, bro, think about it, bro. Like,
I hope I'm eating crow and I can sit in your Lamborghini. But dude, I think you're a fucking idiot,
dude. We'll see, man. We'll see.
Oh god! If you told me you bought Ethereum and crypto or Bitcoin, I'd be like, all right, I get it. Cool.
Well, I had those for a while. I had Ethereum for a long while. I bought it like I think I bought it $1,700, and then I sold it at like $25, and I transferred it all to these altcoins. So I still made money on it, but Yeah, bro. We're in the alt season right now.
All right. So how much has Ethereum gone up since you sold it?
It just hit all-time high. It's like 3,500.
Yeah. Well,
or no, not all-time high, but it went up to like 3,500.
You should have stuck with that. I bet you your returns would have been better than all this altcoin shit.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Anyway.
We've been good. We'll see how it's been. What's been in your neck of the woods, man? What's been going on with you?
Well, the year's kicking off, so I'm actually traveling for the first time. I'm going to Chicago next week for a couple
I'm going
days.
to Chicago.
When?
Monday.
Oh, I'll be there Wednesday and Thursday.
And then I'm leaving though right away. It's a connecting flight. Going to Chicago Monday. Guess where? Iowa. Fucking Iowa.
Where are you going there? Des Moines? Sweet.
Yeah, not looking forward to it.
Go to John Deere.
I just want to go home. I'm not even there. I want to go home.
There's probably not a lot in Des Moines. I don't know if I've actually been to Des Moines.
I'm going to Iowa City, and then I'm flying into Des Moines, and then going to Iowa City, which is like 2 hours away, and then driving back.
There's probably not a lot out there.
It's cold. It's negative degrees right now.
But yeah, I'm going to Chicago, and then the following week I'm in Phoenix for 4 days.
Phoenix, Arizona. Is that next? How far is Phoenix from
Scottsdale? So right outside.
How far is that from like Vegas?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Like Nevada?
I don't know. I really don't know. I never
Never did anything with that.
I mean, as a flight, I'm sure it's 30 minutes. I mean, it's close, but it's on the other side of the Grand Canyon. So I don't know. It's probably a long ass drive.
Long drive.
Yeah.
I always wanted. I not always wanted to, but I always liked when I was in California. I was in the more desert part of California. I forget what part it was. Tracy, California. Driving through like the mountains and stuff, and it's like just like dirt and stuff. It's an interesting experience because out here we have more hills, trees, and all that. But like there's that one road that's like straight, super long out west. What's that called? It's like
the one that goes to Vegas.
Yeah, it's like straight.
Yeah.
Like
I forget what number it is.
52 or something like that. Or I don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah, you literally drive 3 hours and it's like much of nothing.
That's
right
pretty
cool.
Death
Valley and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I saw that. That would be a cool drive, like one time in your life. But like doing it all the time would probably be a pain. But
don't want to go to Los Angeles this time of year. No, not right now.
Oh yeah, with all the fires. Yeah, no. Man, that's so funny. We were talking about this the other day. Like, man, when I was growing up in high school, like the one place I wanted to live was California. I don't know why. Like I always just like saw it. I was like, that's the place to live. You know, like all the
right?
Hollywood people and content creators. Dude, I'm like happy living where we're at now. We're out of the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we're not burning down. We're not earthquaking it. We're not hurricaning it.
The worst we'll have.
I don't have
any
of that shit.
No, it's peaceful. It's very calm. Don't have to deal with like nothing, man. It's like,
well, that's the nice thing about the internet, right? It doesn't really matter anymore where you live, especially if you're a content creator, that kind of shit.
You can like tap in wherever you're at.
You could do a podcast from wherever, right? Rogan's doing it from his house, right, or whatever it is. But everybody's moving, so that's a freaking shit show out there, though, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, people's houses are burning down.
They said I was one of the realtor guys that's on TV was talking about how he's hearing that 90% of the people's whose houses got burnt down were very underinsured, and he goes 70% of these people aren't coming back. Like that's going to be all land that's going to get bought out by some
multi-millionaire, the next billionaire. Yeah, that sucks, man. Are they subsiding? Like they're not. I don't know if that's the right word. Like are the fires calming down? Or
I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, it hasn't been on the news anymore, so I'm assuming that it's kind of over. But then you see, like it's only 35% contained. I'm like, well, I guess there's nothing left to burn. I don't know. It's still burning, but there's nothing to burn. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw this right headline. It was like Biden was trying to give each homeowner like
$770.
What's with this $700? They did that with the people in North
Carolina too.
$700.
I don't know if that's the. I don't know. I don't know if that's that's the guideline. Most you can give anybody $750. But yeah, it's like this dude just lost his $9 million home. Do you really think he gives a shit about $700? That won't even pay for one night of a hotel out there now. I mean, what the fuck,
dude.
I don't know. Other than that, I guess I bought my new iPad.
Yeah, well, you got to be doing reviews, bro.
I was thinking about that. it's funny because, I mean, when I was researching buying it, I'm looking at all these videos and it's people unboxing it and basically just talking about what they do with it. But I'm like, holy shit, these people have like 50,000 hits. I'm like, that's probably what we need to do is we need to just do, we talked about doing this, right? We just got to do some product reviews and just get us over that hump of that, whatever the hell it is to monetize and, get on the radar.
I see this guy, he just like buys it and destroys it. His name's like Jerry rigs everything. He buys the iPad. He's like the bald
and then
guy.
tears it apart.
Bro, just tears it apart. And I'm like, dude, like that's like, I get it, it's part of his shindig, but you're just like destroying like a brand new iPad.
What's really scary is all the people who probably copy that thinking they're going to make money and then they don't
like
get
1,000
the hits.
views.
I mean, he's obviously got the, he's got
platform.
He's got the following and stuff like that. So every time he does that, he's making money. Or he's making more money destroying it than he is obviously buying it. But there's a bunch of copycats and they're all getting effed because they're like, shit, I didn't make $1,500 back, man. Oh my God.
Jeez, man. Yeah. So now you're talking, I guess real quick, speaking of iPads, you were talking about switching out your iPad to a Mac now.
Other way.
Mac to an iPad.
So
what the heck's going on there?
I'm going to stop carrying my laptop at all and just, that's it. I'm going full 100%.
So that's
iPad.
That's completely, I feel like opposite of what most people do. I would imagine.
I don't know, to be honest with you. So I guess it all depends on what the hell you're doing with it, right? Obviously, if you're banging hard on Photoshop and Final Cut, you probably can't do that.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're me, right, and I'm a sales guy who's basically taking notes and doing emails and, showing presentations to customers, I can do 100% of it on this. I think the thing that, I just have to, there are obviously nuances between Mac OS and iPad OS that are hard to, cross over. So I don't know. I figure I'll see, right? Maybe I'll do a vlog on what the hell.
I think iPad would destroy the entire market if they allowed you to have files and stuff like that.
That's why Apple keeps fucking hamstringing it. You ask anybody, this is a better platform than a laptop, but the operating system on this is garbage, and it's been garbage forever, and they do it intentionally.
Why?
Everybody knows it because they know if you put a good OS on this, put Mac OS on this, no one would ever buy another MacBook ever. Why would you buy a MacBook? Why? Yeah. Right? I mean, there's no reason.
Think about it though. I guess they could just go all in on that new device, and it would. I'm telling you. I think, and this is without
you can
market
use
research.
Files. Files is on here, so I can access everything that's on my laptop.
Right. I just don't. You know what I'm trying to say though.
Yeah.
It's like if they're. I don't know if it's the operating system you're talking about.
You're talking about the file management system, right?
Yeah.
If they ever implemented that on this, you would only buy an iPad.
You would buy an iPad that's
And the funny thing is, at this
crazy.
point. These iPads are as much as the goddamn laptops.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that sounds about right.
You buy this, you buy an iPad Pro, you buy the pencil, and you buy the keyboard, like the Apple keyboard thing. You're as much as any of the laptops, including some of the Pros, right? Without even thinking. So it's all right, you're going to cannibalize one for the other, but you're still going to make the same amount of money. Who the fuck cares? Do it, right? So that's the big beef, right? People have been bitching about that forever, that Apple is intentionally hamstringing this, and they've been doing that forever.
Well, all right, so it's
they treat it as a phone, and it's not a fucking phone, right?
To be on devil's advocate, right? To be the opposite side, Microsoft Surface. The Surface tablet has the same operating system.
But the difference is Microsoft doesn't give a shit. So,
and all right, well, before I can finish
they're enabling. I've never owned a Surface, so I don't know. But I'm assuming that one's full blown Windows with file management and everything. And it's a touchscreen, right?
Touchscreen tablet.
On a tablet. The reason that Microsoft doesn't give a fuck about the hardware, they only care about licensing the operating system. So for them, it's a Microsoft Windows license on a tablet. It's the exact same thing as a PC. So all they're doing is counting devices. They don't care what the device is. Apple sells the operating system, but they also sell the hardware, and the hardware is where they make all their money. So they want to make sure that they are not cannibalizing their most expensive thing for something that's a little bit cheaper because that hurts them. That's the difference between Microsoft and Apple. So that's the reason why in some cases the Microsoft ecosystem's better, because they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about the hardware, right?
Yeah.
They don't care if it's Dell. They don't care. They're making all their money on licensing Windows.
Yes.
So that's why the Surface is probably a better,
because there's so many companies that
product
could do it.
from an operating system perspective, because it's a direct port of the desktop version. Apple refuses to do that. They're treating this as if it were a phone, right?
Yes.
With a big screen. So
I know exactly what you're saying.
It works for a phone. This, when you, a 13-inch, right? I'm looking at it, this is it doesn't work, right? So a lot of people keep buying these things on faith that one of these WWDCs are going to they're going to finally put out the full-blown version. And it never happens. So Apple, look, I'm an Apple fanboy, but that's the one thing about Apple that really sucks.
I always said, like, my god tier spec of everything, if I were to have like a spec list of everything, desktop would be Windows. I think desktops Windows is superior.
Fuck Windows.
I like it.
The ultimate is a Mac OS on an iPad. That's period. That's
right. Well, we're not there yet.
That's it.
We're not there yet. We're not there.
I'm
saying right now, January 18th. Right now, Windows desktop, laptop. I still give it to Mac. Mac's laptop is head and shoulders over Windows. Phone, I gotta go iPhone, but
damn,
what?
We're over an hour. That's all.
Okay, but yeah, that's like the dream spec. Is like the two, like the phone, laptop, Apple, the actual workhorse computer. I'm taking Windows.
So
Microsoft.
I spent, I've been thinking about, because my laptop that I have is an M1 Pro. So at this point, it's almost 4 years old. In fact, I know it's 4 years old, right? And I have an M1. I had an M1 iPad Air, right? And so I was like, I want to update my computer, but then I start looking and I'm like, well, the computer was going to cost me like $2,500 and I have to get Apple Care, right?
Was this a studio you're talking about?
No, my MacBook Pro.
Oh, you're just talking about laptop.
I was going to just get a new MacBook Pro, one of the new M4 MacBook Pros. But the one, to like, I need a terabyte hard drive, and it was going to be like $2,200 for the laptop, and then another $250 for Apple Care. So I was like, okay, that's $2,500, right? So then I was like, well, let me think about just getting an iPad Pro, right? And they're not cheap either, to be honest with you, right? This thing was like fucking $1,300.
Why?
Because it's a 512 gig
storage.
And I was debating that because I was like, do I want the terabyte one with the nano texture? But then it's like $1,900. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Do I get the 256 one? Is that enough? If that's enough, if I really start to use it and start doing videos, editing on this. So I'm like, let me just get kind of the middle of the ground one. And it's stupid money, but I was like, it's cheaper than the laptop, right? And for everything that I do, I'm pretty sure I can create a workflow that works on this. Test the time, right? So maybe that's the thing I do. Like I said, I start vlogging, making this transition from a laptop to an iPad. Can it be done? And again, if you're an illustrator, yes, you can get Illustrator. Yes, you can get Final Cut. But I would imagine it's probably a bitch to work.
I couldn't
those,
imagine. I wouldn't even know where to
start, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't even know where to start.
But I don't do any of that. I'm going to try and there's a couple.
Well, it's not like you got rid of your laptop.
No, I still have it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's still very functional, right?
Yeah,
that's the cool thing about the silicone from Apple, right? Is even though it's 4 years old, my friggin' laptop still cranks, right? I didn't need to buy a new laptop per se. You just get itchy after 4 years,
and then your next itch is going to be a car.
So I mean, seriously, I asked my wife. She'll tell you that every time she would walk into my office, like I had, all my work stuff on one screen, and I had Amazon or Apple up on the other screen doing research on iPads and MacBooks, because I was like, I get wrapped around the freaking axle, and I'm like, what do I do? And then it was do I buy the 11-inch or do I buy the 13-inch, right? And I'm watching all these videos. You go online on YouTube, and you literally will find 50 videos of someone saying the 13-inch sucks, get the 11.
What's this?
And you'll find 50 people that say, buy the 13-inch, the 11-inch sucks. This is the 13-inch.
That's the 13, okay.
Right, and part of the reason I did that is because I had a 10-inch, and I'm like, well, if I just get an 11-inch iPad, I'm basically just buying the same thing I already have, and it's just it's
incredible how thin that one is too.
This is freaking sick.
Yeah, it's very
right?
thin.
I don't know. You can probably see it. Right, it is super. It's actually thinner than the pencil.
I was gonna say, I think your pencil might be like a a centimeter.
It's literally crazy.
Yeah,
and it's light as can be.
Do you feel like you're gonna like break it ever, in your hand? Like you know what I mean?
I don't even want to do anything until I get the keyboard case is aluminum, and that's like a hard shell case.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid to do anything with it really until I get the keyboard.
Oh man.
I talk myself into it, and I'm like, for what I think it does make a lot of sense. I think in my head, I had to justify everything in my head, right?
Well, but you also try to justify the Apple Vision.
So if I want something, I can guarantee you I can justify it.
Yeah, the Apple Vision. What was stopping you from the price tag?
The price tag. That's
clearly. But you think you could, if it was like $1,000, you think you would try to work in AR or VR or whatever to try to get that to work?
So when that first came out, my thought process for that was exactly what you're describing. I was going to replace my laptop with the Apple Vision, right? Yeah. Just get rid of everything on my desktop and have just the Apple Vision, and then have an iPad for like when I traveled going to things. And
that's like the most ideal thing, like in theory, right?
So
in a perfect world, that's like the most like ideal thing. Like you could work from your house.
The challenge is, and I just kind of looking that if you want to do any creation, horrible setup, right? Because you can't do creation on Apple Vision.
I would imagine you could probably type really well.
Okay, text, you could voice a note with Siri.
Yeah.
But if you want to do Illustrator, Final Cut, you're screwed, right? Then at that point you're like screwed. Yeah. Now my saving grace is I'm not doing all that shit, right? You do it all the time with the designs and stuff like that. I don't, right? I'm the admin guy. You're the creative, right? So I'm not heavy on the creative. I mean, obviously I do the podcast and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was going to say you still do it on iMovie, or do you do Final Cut?
I do it on iMovie, or in the case of the video, right? I'm not even editing it. It's just basically I'm going to pull the clip, and I'm going to just update it or send it up to YouTube, right? So, but I mean, I've seen people, and everybody says Final Cut's awesome on this. So I might actually.
I'm curious to see it though. Like after we're off of here, I'm curious to see. Like you were talking about the pen though. Even the pen.
That's cool shit.
You know what I mean?
So the new Apple, the Pencil Pro is really cool because you pinch it and it brings up this jog wheel, and it's got all the things. So you can instantly switch to the eraser or to the highlighter or to the undo button.
But that's cool. Only for the iPad. That one
only for iPad Pro and the M2 previous year.
Because I was going to say you can't do it with the older styles. I don't think. Oh, I don't think so. At least.
So I was also debating, instead of getting an Apple Mini, and then using that. I was like, can I actually condense everything down to a mini?
Oh my god, dude!
And I was like, that's probably not a good idea.
You're sick. You ever go to the airport like with just a book bag before and just like fly
all the time?
You just a book bag and just.
I mean, so.
The white one,
the Toomey bag that I bought the other day. So my goal is 3 days, everything in a freaking backpack.
You ever go to the airport with nothing?
No, I always have a backpack.
I feel like that's the goal.
No,
if you could go I guess not like nothing, but like a light backpack where you don't have it like super crammed. Like if you can go there with like a laptop or your iPad, like a change of clothes.
I mean, in theory,
that's like the best. Like
I'm at the point now where if I'm going for like an overnighter, like just a 2-day trip, I very easily could carry the iPad,
a charger,
and one of those packing cubes.
Yep.
With a change of clothes.
And be done.
And I could get away with it.
That's pretty
so
impressive.
I could actually hold that in my hands, or I could put it into a very small backpack. But I have that big one, and I literally can get 3 days in that. And that's my goal. I just want to have a backpack, and that's it.
Yeah, I went to everything that I do. If I'm doing 3 days or 4 days, book bag, and I always have a carry-on. I can't get away with just a book bag.
Yep.
Typically,
it's hard.
Yeah, never have I ever went away with just a book bag, ever. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
But let's wrap it up here. I just want to give a shout out to what's this company? Insta360.
Yeah, it never craps out, man.
The red light's still on.
We're an hour and 15 minutes in, and that bitch is still running, and that's 4K. You know, that's actually it might even be 8K at 360, right?
That's incredible.
So GoPro, you suck.
Is this running? Or any of these running or no?
Nah, I don't even bother with them anymore, right? The GoPro's in pieces on the table. You can see it if you look.
The graveyard.
That's the cool thing, right? You can see it right down here. It's like a graveyard of thing. That Canon's pretty awesome. So,
yeah, it was free too, right?
But GoPro sucks. Awful.
Wasn't it? This was
garbage.
Off the shop, right? Amazon
I got
shop?
that on Vine.
Yeah, that's
for free. So
free. That's your problem. It's not for free. That's your problem.
That's true. It's not for free. I got to pay taxes on it. But that actually is pretty rock solid too. But yeah, this Insta360 is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
So kudos to them.
Well, shout out to this episode. This was well needed, well deserved. Hopefully, we provided some game. Started business with a friend.
Everything's recorded, so we're in good shape. So peace out. We'll catch you probably in about 3 more months.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully not. But all right, cool. Later, man. See you.
Ya.
Bye.